People ask, what is the origin of the mystery of the Shemitah? When did it come? Well, it began with a harbinger. And the harbinger began with the events of 9/11, when these revelations started coming. And in the book, The Harbinger, there is a chapter called The Mystery of the Shemitah, which begins the opening up of the mystery. And there's a verse in there that most people missed. And for those who know The Harbinger, it's when Noriel asked the prophet a question. And he asked about the Shemitah because the revelation is what happened after 9/11, with the crash of 2001 on Elul 29 and the crash of 2008 on the same day on the biblical Shemitah. And Noriel asks, how far does the cycle go? I asked. Every seventh year in the past and into the future? The prophet answers, the subject is for another time, he said. The point now is the Shemitah as a sign of judgment. What was in there that most people missed is the question as to whether the Shemitah was just a phenomenon or this prophetic sign of the Shemitah after 9/11, or did it go beyond? Would it go forward and does it stretch back? Has it been affecting us, our lives, even before? Well, I put that there because I knew there was more, but I knew it wasn't for the harbinger. And so that's why that verse is there. So what happened was I wasn't planning to do another book yet. People have always been asking me when I'm going to do the sequel to The Harbinger. Well, the Mystery of the Shemitah isn't the sequel, but it springs from the mystery there. What happened was the publisher of The Harbinger, Charisma, had wanted to do something on the Shemitah because everybody was asking about the Shemitah, because there's another Shemitah year coming up in 2014 and 2015. So with that coming, there was a growing intensity of interest about that year. So the publisher asked me, well, we want to do a booklet, and I said, well, okay, I can help with that, and then so I started looking into now more into what I refer to here in The Harbinger. And in 1 month, all these things came. The mystery was so big. I mean, I kind of knew it, but I did not see it all. It was so big that this extended, didn't start with 9/11. It's been affecting our lives from the beginning. The pattern is there again and again and again, not only affecting the economy and the financial world, but affecting nations, affecting prophecy. It's the Shemitah is so gigantic. And so that came in about a 1 month period in April of 2014. And then I began writing, but of course I didn't have any time to write because I was still going all around traveling because of the Harbinger. So, but I had I figured in a 6-week period, I had about 4 free days when I wasn't traveling or doing a service. So I ended up writing the Mystery of the Shemitah pretty much on the road while I was traveling, in planes, in hotel rooms, and trains. And so, but it came very quickly. I mean, so it came within 6 weeks of writing, and it was finished around in June. Kind of worked on a little bit in July. On September, it came out. It was, it's just not done with books. But it came out just before the Shemitah began, at the very beginning of September. And by God's grace, when the Harbinger came out, the first week, I don't understand how it happens, and I never wrote a book before the Harbinger, but it went on to the New York Times bestseller list the first week. It happened with the Shemitah. On that first week it went out, it went on to the New York Times, and it's been there since, and it actually has gone out even more strongly than the Harbinger. So it was really a book. It was originally to be, I didn't plan it, and it was originally going to be a booklet that they planned, and it turned out to be none of the above. It was a book that nobody planned, and that I didn't plan, and that was a surprise to me, but it came so rapid fire with these things coming, and then with it going forth. But it really begins years and years and years before that with the beginning of the Harbinger. And of course, the mystery really begins before all of that, and it begins in ancient times when the Lord, he gives it on Mount Sinai.